In January 1969, a march by the nationalist group, the People's Democracy, from Belfast to Derry was attacked by off-duty Ulster Special Constabulary members and other Ulster loyalists. The regular police refused to protect the marchers. When the marchers arrived in Derry, fighting broke out between their supporters and the police. That night, police officers broke into the homes in the Catholic Bogside area and assaulted several residents. 2 months later, after another civil rights march, police officers entered the house of Samuel Devaney, a local Catholic. They beat him so severely with batons that he would later die from his injuries in hospital. The Battle of the Bogside began after the Apprentice Boys' March, an annual commemoration to the Siege of Derry in 1689, when 13 young apprentices shut the gates of the city and held off the Jacobite army. The march was considered highly provocative and was regarded as a calculated insult to Derry Catholics. As the parade left the Apprentice Boys Memorial Hall and passed along the Derry walls, some young Protestants broke away from the parade and started throwing bricks down into the Catholic Bogside below. Catholics retaliated, hurling stones and nails, resulting in an intense confrontation. The actions of the Bogside residents were coordinated. The Derry Citizens Defence Association set up a headquarters in a local house. They supervised the making of petrol bombs and the positioning of barricades. They also set up Radio Free Derry. However, many local people joined in the rioting on their own initiative. The police were in many respects badly prepared for the riot in terms of riot shields and uniforms. Also, there was no system in place to relieve officers, with the result that the same policemen had to serve in the rioting for the 3 days that it lasted. The police responded to the situation by flooding the area with CS gas. They were the first police force in the United Kingdom to use CS gas. By the 14th of August, the rioting in the Bogside had reached a critical point. Almost the entire community had been mobilised at this point, many galvanised by false rumours that St Eugene's Cathedral had been attacked by the police. Also, the fear that the B Specials were being deployed to Derry. People in the Bogside feared of a massacre. It was later this day that the British government took the steps of deploying the British Army onto the streets of Northern Ireland to relieve the Royal Ulster Constabulary. At first, the residents welcomed the army as they saw them as a neutral force, someone who was going to protect them against the police and the B Specials. However, leaders like Bernadette Devlin realised that this was not going to be good for the residents in the long run, and they were later proven correct. A few months later, in the events of Bloody Sunday, Paddy Docherty's father was shot dead by the Parachute Regiment whilst attending a civil rights march. He was shot dead along with another 11 people.